Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And a lot of people have asked me, how do you know Swift is going to work with Ripple? Well, they're not just going to work with Ripple, they're also going to work with XLM as well. That's why I always told you, if you're going to diversify, definitely be holding some XLM. But this is at Swift's CBOS event. Cryptocurrencies like XRP and XLM are going to continue playing an important role in getting the flywheel of adoption going. Take a listen.
The front office is automated, there's low latency. Then you switch gears. Banks operate still typically in terms of batch processing, store and forward, and payments, messaging, clearing, and settlement are often decoupled and can take days. This dichotomy is just unsustainable. And in response, we're seeing and hearing at CBOS how a number of FIs and FI-backed consortiums are harnessing blockchain, smart contracts, digital assets to align the performance of banking and payment systems with those of the digital economy. The second takeaway, I'd say, is that the Internet of Value is beginning to crystallize. And let me start with a framework. Let's think of the old industrial flywheels that take a lot of energy to make a half turn and a full turn. But once they start turning, there's momentum and it's hard to stop them. So let's overlay adoption of blockchain and digital assets. They've proven value. So part of the first turn, feasibility, certainly. And now we're seeing these use cases get into the bottom of that first turn, economic viability. And there's some exciting initiatives we heard about at CBOS around interbank payments, delivery versus payments, for example, correspondent banking, messaging, cross-border, interbank, intrabank, intra-company, and importantly, when we get to the ESG, the S part, remittances. So lots of interesting energy there. And we're seeing cryptocurrencies like XRP, Stellar Lumens, and stablecoins like USDC playing an important role in getting that wheel to turn and deliver the Internet of Value.
And you know what else is going to add to the Internet of Value? Ripple's new stablecoin as well. But Swift has been telling you for years that this is the path forward because the back end is always broken. That's where that outdated 50-year-old Swift system is still playing a big factor. And that's how we are going to get rich. You want that $100 XRP? This is the path to $100. Beyond $100, you got to start looking at tokenization. Maybe Ripple steals more business away from Swift over time. We really don't know yet, but this is the path to $100 XRP. Impact of digitalization. It is coming. Digitalization is going to happen, and it's being fast-tracked now, especially in the EU. The UK is also pushing ahead very fast as well. But I think what we're going to see as we push into this new digital age is you're going to have parallel money systems. And I think it's going to be more than just CBDC and cash. You're going to have CBDC, cash, and crypto. You're going to have money rails that only use crypto as well. Because even the ECB in the past has talked about multiple parallel systems. And I also think that is the path forward. Walmart and Amazon race to digitalize the physical store. Like I said, it only takes one to push in this direction. Amazon was first with that walk in, pick up everything you need, and walk out system. Now it looks like Walmart is leaning in that direction as well. That's what leads to mass adoption. Same thing is going to happen around crypto. All of a sudden, one bank starts to utilize RippleNet and XRP. The bank down the street is now losing customers to this bank. So what do? They start utilizing RippleNet and XRP, and so on. And before you know it, the merchants are doing the same thing. And then you'll be able to shop with crypto without even knowing it. The normies will be using blockchain and crypto. This is the path we are already on. But yet there's so many people denying that this is coming. Most people outside of crypto, if you talked about digitalization, the first question they're asking you, what the hell is that? But because you're in crypto, you can see it coming. The digital transformation rabbit hole goes so deep. Digitalization must shift from an Internet of Things to digital for people, planet, prosperity. We're already on this path. And you see, Industry 5.0, a transformative vision for Europe. It's starting in the East, but it will end in the West. Everything you see happening overseas is going to come to the United States. People here in the United States, for some reason, think that we're going to go in a different direction than the rest of the world. But every country is going at this direction right now. Even the BIS, they're fast-tracking everything. The IMF, fast-tracking everything. World Economic Forum, pushing for different things, which most of them are not good for us. But again, they are fast-tracking. And you see, it's going to be tied to education, AI, and digitalization, circular economy, digital economy, network thinking, skills, equality, youth, sustainable development goals, climate and environment, energy, transportation, governance, citizen engagement. So let's look at energy and transportation. What are they pushing for? EVs. Then you look at education. They want to have AI teaching in the classroom at some point. And, you know, they're targeting the youth right now because they still see the youth as the future. That's why they're always leaning in that direction. Even Harvard and colleges, they already have free courses to upskill towards AI so that you will have a job in the future instead of living on the universal basic income. The fourth industrial revolution is here. And if you want to get rich from it, you have to get invested in it. By investing in XRP and these utility-driven cryptocurrencies, you're already invested in the fourth industrial revolution and the fifth industrial revolution as well, because AI is already being called the fifth industrial revolution, and it's merging with blockchain. That has to happen for the new financial system to even exist. You know, when they talk about shutting off people's money, tracking their carbon footprint, no human is going to be able to track all of that. You need AI to track everything. Breaking, leaked emails showed the Biden administration will be attending a blockchain or a Bitcoin and crypto roundtable in DC in July. Bitcoin is officially an election issue. I've been calling for this ever since 2022. I said, wait until we get to 2024 with the elections. I bet you crypto is going to play a major role. And it's playing a bigger role than I even thought it would. But, you know, he's meeting with people like, you know, these billionaires. That's who they meet with. And then they get talking points that they could talk about on the mainstream media news. Donald Trump says, I will end Joe Biden's war on crypto. Take a listen.
Well, I will end Joe Biden's war on crypto, and we will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. We're going to keep it right here, and a lot of it's going to be done right here in Florida.
You know, I like the idea that Trump is talking about crypto, but when he's talking about Bitcoin, he's leading the new crypto investors into Bitcoin. And I honestly think at some point, Bitcoin is going to come crashing down. I think it's going to start with Tether. And when that happens, that's going to be a shocker for most people in crypto. It could be a major black swan event happening inside of crypto. It can be that big. Because the only thing really propping Bitcoin up right now is Tether. Take a listen to Navin Gupta, previously of Ripple, now CEO of Crystal Intelligence. Bitcoin is the Napster of Web3.
And I would say 7 years ago, when people thought about Bitcoin or digital assets or virtual assets, whatever you may call, they always thought about hijacking, kidnapping, bad things happening, and then essentially not to be able to use. And they just had a very, very negative view of digital assets, right? And over 7 years, I have spoken at countless conferences, spoken to a number of people, educating them about many, many other use cases. And the easiest way I think about it would be, if you look at 1995, the way internet was born, or the way people knew internet, was Napster, right? People would download music, and it was pirated music, of course, and it was for illegal. At that time, pirated music was illegal, and in fact, it destroyed the whole of the music industry, right? But then came year 2000, you had companies like Google, you had companies like Facebook, who essentially came in, and they were very, very legit use cases. And that's what I have been educated people about. Speculation is just one of the use cases. But now, for example, you see stable coins, you see USDC and USDT, and people essentially using it for remittances, money moving in and out.
So Navin Gupta never lost sight of utility taking over this market. What he's telling you is Bitcoin was the Napster, and what happened with Napster? It disappeared, and the internet went in a totally different direction. All of a sudden, everything was legitimate, and it was, regulated. Let's put it that way. And I think what he's telling you is once regulations come into crypto, Bitcoin is not going to have a purpose going forward. The hype is going to be gone. The speculation is going to be gone. All we're going to see is use cases, and that's what's going to lead us to mass adoption. Everybody always says that Bitcoin is the future, and I even talked about it in a post on X. I have people trying to convince me Bitcoin is the future, and just when I'm about to believe it, I remind myself of how slow it is and how much more expensive it is to use compared to XRP, which is the future. I look at anything that has a use case as the future. Things are going to change very fast once regulations come. In fact, once regulations come, I think that's when we will get to see this market, the real potential of these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. We will be on the path in that direction. And I think what's going to happen is, people keep sending me messages, by the way, giving me talking points from Michael Saylor, $8 million Bitcoin, and so on. Anybody that thinks Michael Saylor is going to lead them into the future, they're going to be totally shot down at some point. Because, when the IMF and the BIS and the World Economic Forum and the ECB and everybody's pretty much telling you that Bitcoin has no place inside the new financial system, you need to wake up. It's not going to be the number one cryptocurrency at some point in the future either. Once all the money leaves Bitcoin and ends up in utility. That's the path forward that I see. And I mean, people will, again, in the comment section on this video, most likely tell me I'm totally wrong on this. But I watched how they changed the narrative around Bitcoin all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it's being called something else. It's always talked about when it comes to illicit activity. But, I don't think it's going to fully disappear either. I think it's just not going to have the value it has today. And you know what I took notice to? Now that Trump's talking about crypto, I talked to a couple people recently about crypto, and they're like, yes, I just became a crypto investor. It's like all of a sudden, being a crypto investor is cool once again. It's like all of a sudden you just entered the wild, wild west of crypto. Wait until they realize that they're going to be holding on to some of these cryptocurrencies for a long period of time. Wait until they realize that sometimes things go sideways. Wait until they realize some things inside of crypto are still a blatant rug pull, like all those celebrity meme coins. But it is nice to see that being a crypto investor is cool once again. I remember that early on. It was like you told somebody, yeah, I invest in crypto, and they're like, holy shit. I can't believe people are still talking about that. Like, you shouldn't be mentioning it openly in public or something. That narrative seems to be coming back now that Trump's talking about crypto. But I am glad to see that people are starting to understand crypto as well. Wait until they realize what utility is. First Bitcoin gets them here. Then they start to understand the real path forward. And that is utility. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I will see you in the next one. Have a great night.